All right, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Morning. Let's grab our seats. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Mike, stop talking. First off, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? For being here today. Morning. Schedules, Nadia for coming up from Fort Lauderdale, and then the BlackBlock team coming over from Tampa, Sarasota area. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you, Team Goliath, for being here as well. This is an exciting day. You know, over the last couple years, we've been building Goliath, and a lot of changes have come. A lot of great changes have come. A lot of personal impact has come to everyone's single lives, and this is just one of those other things that's going to help us build such a solid foundation for our company. And so we couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without Nick and Jay, building this foundation and getting the team assembled. So thank you. Round of applause for them too. So thank you guys both. They really set the vision. I'll tell you that, guys. Like, we wouldn't be here without them two setting the vision and seeing what we can build. And then obviously everyone's contribution for believing in Goliath and coming on board and giving everything that they got. So from my heart to you guys, thank you for all your trust, your belief, and your support. So I truly appreciate it on my end. Yeah. With that said, as we emerge into a new era, as Goliath emerges into a new company, a lot of things come with that, and we share that vision with the BlackBlock team, and we're excited to where the future holds. We've seen over the last couple months what you guys have brought to our company, the value you guys have brought to our company, and the validation for us, and we can't go the next couple years without you guys. So you guys have really set us on an upward trajectory, and we're truly thankful for that, and we're truly thankful for this partnership. So thank you guys. So as we get started, I'm going to turn it over to the BlackBlock team. This is their session. Just as our chats and emails have gone, this session really is for everyone to get all their questions answered, to ask questions, to get any materials or any ideas that you guys have that you guys want to bring back to your partners. So everything you guys ask in the chat, from documentation to changes in agreements to our insurance and fidelity bonds, this is what that meeting is for. So please ask your questions. Don't hold it off for the chat, because if you do, then I'm going to tell you to go yourself. So thank you guys again for being here. Thank you guys for dedicating your day to be here. I know we're all super busy, and this is very important, not only for the company, but for myself as well. So with that said, I'm going to turn it off to Mr. Piers and Mr. Matt. They have your guys' undivided attention. Please be off your cell phones as much as possible today, and please make sure that your day is available for these guys. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike the man.
Perfect.
All right.
It's about that time.
It is that time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm Piers Curry. This is Matt Burks, founders of BlackBlock. I want to thank our team for being here, Aaron, Nicole, Pam, for their support, integral in the rolling out of what we're going to be doing for you guys today and into the future. I want to talk first about kind of how we got here, right? We are you, right? We're directors ourselves. Oh, that's the new name, not executive partners.
Yeah, direct.
We'll
Just
get to that.
We'll get there. It's fine.
But we are you. We started by investing our own money with Chris, then looking out towards helping other clients of ours invest their money. And in doing so, we said, because our background is traditional finance, right? 20 plus years with the two of us in stocks, bonds, financial advising. So we're very familiar with compliance and regulatory measures. And we started looking at what we were doing and said, we need to not wait for us to be regulated, but assume we're going to be regulated and go ahead and set up all of our own internal compliance systems so that the day that regulation hits, we're already fully good to go. Or if someone just knocks on the door and says, hey, what are you doing? We're already ready to go. Client records look good. And
That's right.
that's the origin story. So when we brought that to Nick and Chris and showed them what we were doing, that's ultimately what kicked this off.
Yeah, we, it's exciting from our standpoint because, and I will say, I give Chris and Nick and you guys kudos because honestly, what we're doing for you guys, really, to our knowledge, no other company in this space is doing. So there's not like a lot of blockchain and crypto spaces that are actually doing any type of regulation. So the fact that we're even tipping putting our toes into that water, it's exciting for us because I think it's going to happen. And with that said, as Chris mentioned, since we've come on, hopefully most of you guys I've had conversations with, so hopefully we've been able to provide some good value from that standpoint with some of your new partners you're onboarding. And we're even looking ahead to some of the things that we're working on. Just so you guys know, it's not just about Goliath. We want to help bring regulation to the industry, and we think this is the administration that makes the most sense to try and do that. So we actually are working with the chair of the Financial Services Committee with his office, French Hill, and we're going to have a meeting with him here in the next few weeks up in D.C., where essentially we're trying to, of course, Goliath will be the poster child for this, where we try and actually start affecting legislation. So we want to actually do some things that make sense from that standpoint long term, not just let's put some things in place, but let's do something that survives beyond this 4-year administration. And so that's kind of really the whole goal here is we want to actually step into that role, put some things in place, and then have it affect long-term change, because what we don't want is the SEC to try and create legislation through lawsuits, which is what they're currently doing. You know, the DOL has a pretty big authority handle as well, so they could make up a new law that says, oh, well, we're going to do this. In our industry, overnight, they created something called Reg BI, which is Reg Best Interest. We found out about it. It completely reshaped our industry. Like, it literally changed the way we did business overnight, and it was not Congress passed. It was a law that the DOL passed, or that they got through, so a ruling from a workforce standpoint. So they can do that for crypto as well. So that's why we see how important it is to actually start looking in those directions.
And they are trying.
They're trying.
You
They're
know,
absolutely
they
trying.
are. We have a good administration right now that's supportive of crypto, so we're going to lean into that for the next 4 years and take as much advantage of it as we possibly can. So we're excited to be working with Chris and the entire team to move this vision forward. We see a significant opportunity for growth, as you guys have all exhibited. The speed at which Goliath is growing is fantastic, and this is a monumental opportunity for us to completely legitimize the space and make sure that we can get us as close to bulletproof as is possible, you know, with the guidance that we have. And to Matt's point, ultimately we're working to get up to DC so that we can actually create the model that everybody else has to follow. And that, thank you for your vision in the space, a tip of the hat, Chris, for doing what you're doing, but then seeing what we want to do too, man.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
So we got a lot to cover.
Some of the fun stuff first. This is some fun stuff, some brand consistency. You want to kick it off?
I'm telling you. So we have an entire investor relations team on our staff. All they do is make sure that the communications are clean. I should say all they focus on. They do a lot. Clean communications, that what we're saying is compliant.
Right.
That no attorney, no anybody can come after us, no regulator can come after us for what we're saying, making claims or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But add to that, they can also help to make sure that the brand of Goliath is consistent across the board. So all communications, all materials, everything you guys have in the field, right down to the website, the newsletter, everything matches, looks right, and help us work towards a consistent brand, right? Like, we know Chris, but what is the Goliath brand?
Yeah.
And so they're helping us to come up with that so that you guys all have consistent feel and language when you're out in the field talking to people.
You've reached brand like implementation when your name becomes synonymous with what you're trying to do, right? You don't go search for something, you Google it. So because Goliath is a big player in this industry, that's where we're like, okay, Goliath has made it. When Goliath is literally the example other companies look to aspire to, that's what we want. And so with that, we know sales materials is important, and you guys have been asking, hey, we got to have things to put in front of people. The thing is that we're, as Piers mentioned, we're trying to make sure everything we're giving you is legally compliant, that the legal side says this is okay to put in front of potential partners. So we don't like to roll things out too quickly, because when we do that, then we have to roll things back. So we'd rather err on the side of be a little slower. But one of the big things that we'd like to show you guys, because I feel like you'd probably want to see it, this is the pitch deck that you guys are familiar with. And these are some of the things that they've put together within that to kind of give some consistency. Again, like Piers said, where everything's branded, it's the same message, just slightly repackaged. So we'll kind of like give you like a sneak peek of what that's looking like, because that also has to go with Chris as well. But they're working on this. So this is the exact pitch deck of what you guys currently have, but it's rebranded. And it is a compliant-friendly message. So everything that's in here is actually approved. So you can kind of see, this is the pitch deck. Yeah, who is Goliath? What is the past, the present, the future? You kind of see some consistency here. Statement from Chris, which is, of course, great to have his photo and statement right there at the top. What do we do? Some of the landscape, what does it look like from a market environment standpoint? Love these type of facts there. And then, of course, liquidity pools, how we actually make money. What is that? So again, these are all compliant-friendly things. Introducing you to the DeFi space. What does that look like? Providers versus pools. And then just a story of growth. What has crypto done from its inception, right? You've got user adoption, market cap, developer base. So the things that are happening is a big deal. And then, of course, this is the page you all like and love. Insured and bonded. This is a big deal. This is all compliant friendly in the way that we're saying it. So this is the slide no other company can show that might do liquidity pools. They don't have that. And then, of course, what are we built on? Decentralized exchanges.
So if you want to go back to.
And then to you?
To this?
Yeah, to that. This is guys, this is what sets us apart from every other company in the space. This is the deal closer. It's not the Goliath suite. So I don't want to see any more messages that we need tickets to close deals in the Goliath suite.
This is true.
Damn it.
This is the slide that closes your deal. If this slide doesn't close the deal, then the guy's just fucking with you. Okay? That's it.
This is an important line to Chris's point. First in kind. We built this insurance suite for Goliath. You guys are the only ones that have it. Anything else you want to say on that, Chris? That's awesome. I agree. That's an exciting page, and we're excited. Then you can see as Piers scrolled down, there's disclosures and disclaimers at the bottom.
Check it out. That's the cool part.
This is the fun part that we like to have in there. This is the real money shot. Obviously, these are the things that we put in that make everything compliant. There's another piece I wanted to show to you because it's very close to being able to roll out and be partner friendly.
Hey, Matt,
Yes.
can you just go back 2 slides?
Oh, sure. Will you pop back to that?
One more.
Can we just stay on compliance, Penny?
We love the compliance, Ben.
The word
Here.
exchange is spelled wrong, so just
Oh,
in
yeah.
case we're putting it out. I just want to make sure that.
It's with a C.
Listen, we
It
did that
changes.
because we wanted to make sure you guys are paying attention. And Poon gets the award. We have a special award.
This is not approved for use.
So
This is our draft.
we said close, Poonie. We said close. Focus on the pretty, but okay. All right. Well, Poon gets to be our proofreader now, so we have
all
it.
kidding, like aside, that's the closer.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have that degree of language in there with the insured and bonded, it
It's
says
a big
we're
deal.
vetted, we're cleared. And when we talk about having those insurance coverages in place, just to sidebar for a second, like that's a huge deal. We sat with the underwriters at the insurance companies who were like, okay, we've never seen this before.
Yeah.
You have to take us through every single piece, one of which is what Matt wants to show you next. But like What's the glide path of money? What are the securities in place? What are they actually doing? So our knowledge had to be top tier to even get them to look at us, let alone get underwriters to actually put together full insurance policies for this.
If you think it's hard to sell a partner to give you money, it's real hard to sell an underwriter to
An
insure.
insurance company to insure
Like
something
to insure
they've
this.
never seen
And to
before.
Chris's credit again, it's not cheap. You probably would assume this. This insurance is very expensive. It's very expensive, and it's pretty much for partner confidence. That's literally the reason he's spending this money. So very, very exciting. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. We're going to rebrand it a little bit. But every time I've shown this to you guys, it's a nice visual of like when someone says, well, how does my money make money? That's the question that we get very often, right? So you've got where your initial partner funds come in. It gets wired into Goliath. Goliath transfers it to an institutional Coinbase account, converted there to USDC, and then it's transferred where it's like on-chain to an encrypted ledger. Then I like to show from this point, once it's on-chain, we use whitelisted liquidity pools. This is the part where your money makes money. That's important for people to see, like, where does my money make money? In Uniswap right here. This is where you actually make money. Then you exit the funds back into encrypted ledgers and the process repeats. When someone says, how do I get my money back? Well, it starts here. We transfer it back to the institutional Coinbase, and then it comes back through a wire transfer, unless they're wallet to wallet. But that's like, they actually put together another version of this that I like. That is a little more interactive where you can just kind of walk people through it. Like, so what does it look like when I give you money? Because that's the number one question people ask the most is, what actually happens to my money when I give it to you? And so this kind of breaks it down for them to give them a nice picture of, okay, this is how we make money with your money. And I do know, Puneet, before you say it, I do know there's an issue. I will fix that. Any questions on the sales side stuff? We're going to get all this to you guys very shortly. Yes, Mike.
I was just asking on when the time is for that on the sales.
I mean,
Pending Chris's approval.
pending Chris's
it can be
approval,
immediate.
it could be as soon as this week. It'll be
Yeah.
within a week for sure. Yeah,
And the
yeah.
same thing with the bond, is that gonna be on like a one pager? I know you guys kind of put it on 2 slides, but. it's gonna be-
So the bond, it will be in the pitch deck, and then we're working on a second one or a third one pager that actually, it kind of looks like a Morningstar report, and that is where we have the actual bond language on. So it's in the disclosure. So there'll be like another one pager. So you're actually going to have that, which has some performance data history that shows, and what that'll have is it'll show how much partner dividends have been paid out like in 24, 23, 22. So those are numbers, because the other thing you want to kind of do, guys, is like shift your language away from percentages. You don't really, like, we don't want to say, well, this amount of money came in and this amount of money was paid out, because then you can figure out, okay, well, what are percentages? How much Goliath makes is irrelevant. What is relevant is how much the partner makes. That's all that they should care about, and that's all you should be discussing. But this shows them, wow, Goliath paid out, it was over $100 million, to my knowledge, in 24. Over $100 million in dividends in 2024. That's a huge deal. So those are the things that we want people to know about. So you'll have that one pager that will have all the insurance as well. So 3 really key pieces will be coming you guys' way within the next week that we hope will really give you some good knowledge and empowerment to meet with people. Any other questions on those?
No, I'll stress one thing when we're talking about the bonding or insurance coverage, we cannot sell against it. We can't use that for
Correct.
sales, like, buy us, we're bonded. It's informational. Hey,
Yes.
by the way, it's bonded, it's first in class. Here's information on it. You can read up on it. Let me know if you have any questions about the specific coverages. It's just meant to be a reassurance, not a closing tool.
To Chris's point, that page in the deck is the main one, because that's where it's like, okay, you walk people through it, and then on top of that, wait, it's insured. That is kind of like the climax of the deck, because you walk them through it to that point, and then you're like, wait a second, there's actually some kind of insurance on this. We just want to make sure that you guys are saying it correctly when you talk about it. So we will give you a cheat sheet of the coverages to give you an idea, like just a quick overview. I don't think we have this anywhere else in the presentation, do we?
It's not, no.
So real quick, There's what's called errors and omissions insurance, which essentially covers you guys if you missell Goliath and say something materially wrong and it causes a partner loss. That insurance would cover that as you're covered. This is why only directors and employees of your companies can sell Goliath, because no one else is covered under E&O. It's not covered. If someone out there says something crazy, we're not covering that. So that's a huge deal. That's why it's a big deal. Only you guys are talking about it. There is what's called cyber insurance in place. And the cyber insurance, if there's any type of hack or cyber or socio-engineering attack, and there's a material loss, that is covered. And then there's the bond piece, the fiduciary bond. And essentially what that covers is if there's malfeasance, if there's an employee internal theft. You know, everyone says, who's this Chris guy that has all my money? That's what answers that question, right? That is literally the question. So we all know Chris, but people who come in do not. So that kind of gives them that level of insurance. Fiduciary bond, yeah. And that is actually, because of that bond, just as an aside, that's why Goliath is allowed to take qualified dollars. You have to have that bond in place to be able to take qualified money. So, and we will be talking about that more in depth, but that's kind of like a quick overview of the insurance pieces to give you an idea, hey, what's covered? It does not cover market loss. Very, very, very key. There's no insurance in the whole world that covers market loss. So if somebody wants to talk about FDIC or they want to talk about SIPC, which is security investment, which is our old business, there's nothing that will cover if the market goes down and I lose money as an investor. That's a market risk you have to take. If the crypto market drops and Goliath loses money, well, there's no insurance for that. It's literally against those other pieces. So just for clarity on that. Any high-level questions, quick questions on that, or Mike?
Not on that, but a question from a lot of partners are like percentages covered, right, in the event of a hack. And we don't have to get too specific, but is there something that we could say when they ask that question?
Great question. And so what you say to that is, no company releases the exact percentages, and the reason is because you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit. The industry standard is 20%, which when you look at the total balances, Goliath falls within that. That's how you word it. That's the official answer.
The reason for that is you don't want a target on your back.
Yeah.
And the second you start letting people know your exact coverages and the limits of liability, then a bad actor can come in and go, okay, cool, now I have my line of attack. That's what I want to go after. And it's a threat to the company. So,
and if it's not, they're not a good partner. It's just not right for them. That's okay. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on.
Yep. And you will receive specific individualized training on that as you go through what we're the rollout for everything. Each one of you is going to have special training one-on-one on the systems, but then stuff like that. How do I speak to this? How do I answer these questions? What can I and can I not say? So that's all coming.
Yeah.
And now my favorite slide. It's the Goliath boat, man. You're welcome. I wonder what's in the containers. It's my favorite slide because it illustrates the point. We're all in this boat together, right? Number one, it's about protecting Goliath. Number one, it's about protecting Chris and what he's created. Obviously, it's protecting our clients, but we are all in this together. Because if one of us strays off and does something and causes a lawsuit, a regulator, anything like that, all of us are affected. So not only, would one of us get in trouble, but we could potentially sink the entire ship because of just not paying attention or being, foolish with our words. And that's where that compliant language, like I said, you're going to have individual training on that. What can I and what can I not say? That's going to be a big one. To us, after doing this for 40 years combined, we know what we can and cannot say because it's been beaten into us because every day we face the risk that if you say this, you get your license pulled, which means everything we've spent our careers building disappears like that, and we've watched it.
Yeah.
Plenty of times with people we know.
Yeah, close friends we've seen. So again, that is why as directors, and we'll go over the new titles and things there, but the roles that you guys hold are critical, and this is why each one of you and your accountability is critically important. You can sink the entire ship. So it's like, we've kind of been playing with house money up to this point and hope everything works. Now that we're putting things out there, Goliath is very in the forefront. Because of Goliath's prominence and their ability to lead in this industry, they absolutely have a target. You guys have a target on your back. Like you're the ones people would come for. So it's critically important that everyone adheres to the same standards so that we know, hey, the message we're preaching is all the same and we're all holding to these standards. And if there's violations there, then we have to address it, right? And it's not us. It's our whole goal is BlackBlock, and Pierce says this all the time, it's to protect the entire entity. Like we can't allow one person to bring down the whole ship. So that really is the key of what all this kind of comes from.
Now, I'll be clear. We don't want to attack anybody.
Sure.
Because you don't have clear rules and guidance to play in. It's Chris coming to us and saying, what should I do to be prepared for what could come? And that's why we're putting all this in place. It's very proactive, which beats the heck out of reactive. But coming up next, enhanced communication. Yay.
Key piece of this. So with this, it's like, well, what does that look like? One of the big pieces that we thought is we need direct lines of communication between Goliath and BlackBlock. And just to give you guys a quick aside here, BlackBlock's entire mission is to equip you as directors, currently called EPs, to service partners. We do not service partners directly. We equip you to service your partners. And so what that means is then you have to reach out to BlackBlock when you have issues, when you have problems. But we want to have a clear line of communication. So we have an entire team. There's a large team. Only a few of us are here today. We have a very large team. One of that is we have a couple of people dedicated to you guys full-time that are literally full-time employees of BlackBlock. So there's a line where you have a question, you call them, they will answer that question.
We're going to use Mike, thanks Mike, as the main point of contact so that we minimize a bunch of traffic. So for general inquiries, everything can go through Mike. He'll route that to the appropriate people. If there's a reason for us to communicate directly, certainly we'll do that. But it just keeps things clean, puts a lot more on Mike. You're welcome, Mike. That's what he was asking for.
He wanted more responsibility.
He did. He's begging for it.
That's what we read on your annual review. But that allows us to have one point of contact for you, one point of contact for us. As we get into specific lines like qualified or customer service, we have specific people dedicated to, by qualified I mean retirement accounts that we want to be able to put on. You'll have specific points of contact. The idea is not to have all of your clients calling in, all of the investors calling in, but rather each one of you knows this is who I call when I need this. This is how this gets resolved. Gives us clean lines of communication and allows us to hit stuff and service you very, very quickly.
And we do have that direct line, so if there's an issue you need help with right now, you can call that direct line.
There's a bad
Just to
phone.
be clear, you guys are BlackBlock's clients. We work for you. So when you do have issues, that's the clear process. If your partner has an issue, you work for them. And then if you're like, I'm not sure how to answer that, then we work for you and you bring that to us. So we're generally not directly reaching out to partners. You guys are our clients and you guys are coming to us. But there is a direct line when you need it.
All right.
Now the fun stuff.
Now the fun stuff. Yeah. Structural changes that are coming in. The first one, you've heard us say a couple times, working with attorneys and Chris, we've come up with Director of Partner Services for each one of you. No longer executive partners.
You made it to directors. Congratulations.
Yeah, round
Good
of
job,
applause.
guys. You did it.
Round of applause.
We did it. We did it.
Business cards to follow. With that, that's the easy one. It's just a title change.
Yeah.
Some of the big changes are, which is to protect you and protect the company, establishing each director will establish their own LLC to do business with Goliath. So instead of individuals, you'll have a company. Creates a legal barrier. It's a limited liability company, which is good. The other thing that it does is it creates a clean way for you to be paid by Chris to serve your clients.
Yeah.
which are ultimately Goliath's clients, right? In servicing them in this structure, it sidesteps a bunch of regulatory stuff that de facto turns Goliath into a fund. Goliath is not a fund, so we want to avoid that language. But if you say you're a fund and you get paid like you're a fund, when someone knocks on the door, they're going to go, it's definitely a fund.
Yeah.
And it opens up a whole host of worries for all of us from a regulatory standpoint. So we do not want that.
The LLC protects you guys as well.
Yep.
Honestly.
And just to clarify, what was the correct word instead of fund?
Oh, so, okay, yeah. Joint venture private fund is what, when someone says, what is Goliath? It is a joint venture private fund. That is actually what it is called. Yes, joint venture private fund. So
It's not
you can't say
standalone
investment. Don't say investment. You can't say investment fund, hedge fund, joint venture private fund. Yeah, that is the exact language when someone asks. We always want to make sure that's how you describe it, joint venture private fund. Yeah.
And with that, you get, and this will be rolled out in the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
is
2
the
weeks from
new
today.
managed service agreements that each one of you and your companies will have with Goliath. In that way, under that MSA, you have the ability to be paid to service those clients for Goliath instead of Goliath having to do it all themselves. That creates the firm legal structure around you getting paid as a service fee versus getting paid a commission. And that's a big piece of legal, but the attorneys have signed off.
Yeah, attorneys. And so what that means, I don't know who does or doesn't. Funds will not flow through you directly anymore. Funds will flow, partner funds flow through Goliath. You can't touch money. When you touch money, Goliath can touch money because they can do it as it's a primary function of their, or necessary function of their primary business.
Yep.
You cannot, because if you touch funds, it's actually your primary business, which makes you a money transmission service. That's not okay. So we had to come up with this new structure. You will still be responsible for giving the spreadsheet to Nadia and Chris each month. You have to tell them who gets what. That's part of your MSA agreement. And then you're responsible, you'll have your own line item, so it'll be, MC Enterprise gets, 200,000 this month with the other partners. Like there's a number that you get paid. WealthMD will do the same, but no money will flow directly into your company. It'll flow directly out from Goliath, back and forth from Goliath. Mike, you had a question?
Are we starting that with March's distribution for February?
No.
Or is that starting in April?
No, we should have that because you guys all have to have your LLC set up and your MSA set up, and we have to get with Chris on the timeline. Realistically, April's the earliest that we could do it. 30 days, we want your LLC set up by the end of March so we can do the MSAs. David?
There are different types of LLCs, is there a specific one?
No, you could pick. My personal subchapter S gives you the best tax benefit, but we don't care. Yeah, I would tax it as subchapter S. Single member LLC. I'm not a tax professional, not a legal advisor, but that's what I would do if I were you. I always have to give them disclaimers.
So I have right now, where I do like my personal stuff,
Uh-huh.
C Corp set up. So you would recommend not utilize that, like use it for my personal stuff and now set up like a big.
Correct.
S Corp
Yes.
for all of these.
The LLC, David, gives you a significantly higher amount of protection. With what you're dealing with in financial, you want an LLC. And don't own other stuff in the LLC. This is an LLC for your MSA with Goliath. Because what you do, if you own other stuff in it, you've opened all of those assets to litigation.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents. I'm not an attorney, but that's what I would do if I were you. Yeah. Sure.
So just to understand, so you said like we're no longer receiving funds that goes through the line.
Partner funds.
Partner funds.
Correct.
Okay, so if we're, so like the way it works right now, somebody's taking a 5K distribution this month, that gets sent to me, it gets sent to my decentralized wallet, I send that to them. So nothing goes to any sort of like any sort of LLC or corp. So is that 5K now being sent to them from Goliath?
That will have to, money has to flow in and out through Goliath, correct? The only money that flows to your LLC is your money that you get paid from your MSA, whatever your percentage is for, DP Enterprises or whatever that looks like. Yeah. Any other questions on that?
you guys are aware that we have Canadians.
We are.
And you guys.
Last slide, we wanted to just participate in the entire world variant.
Yeah. Canada's a whole nother fun ball of wax. And so, because they have their own financial system, we are still figuring out exactly how we have to figure out. So the short of it right now, they still will go through KYC and AML. We're figuring out, and we'll follow the same distribution pattern, but likely there will have to be a different agreement because our JV isn't even Canadian. It doesn't recognize it's US. So it's not even correctly drawn up for that country. So there's some issues there that we have to address. But it is on the top of list radar,
Yeah.
yes.
It's actively being worked on.
It's being worked on by Alston Bird. Oh, sorry, yes, Nick.
Well, I was thinking, because the internet is Canada, anything else international as well, when we're dealing with international clients, is that the same?
Canada's the weirdest one. Like UAE, we have a lot of UAE people. Those are fine. Yeah, Canada's a weird bird. Yeah, Canada's a weird bird. Nick?
For the client pay on wallets, where we with that, or what's our plan as far as not being fully in transmission of wallets?
I know. We're still figuring that piece out. I've got to get with Chris and Nadia to figure that, because that would be Chris. We have a way internally with BlackBlock that we can assist, because we're going to have to assist with that. So we will still do it, but it will have to on some level come from BlackBlock. I'm sorry, from Goliath. If it comes from any other entity, we're a money transmission service. They're the only ones that are allowed to do it legally.
But even it being decentralized?
Even decentralized. Because once the book gets opened, you know how that is. It's like once they come in, and it could be something stupid like an IRS audit that opens the book on that. It literally could be that dumb, which is not out of the realm of possibility.
Did you guys decide if we're sticking with just USDC or wires, or it can still be a hybrid of both, or like when it comes from Goliath?
Yeah, that's what we're talking. So you can still do the wallet to wallet. We're still figuring out though the functional piece of that implementation. It's way easier to do wires, to be perfectly honest. You know, fiat is way easier than crypto, but obviously a lot of people are in crypto, so we got to figure that piece out. Yes, sir.
I feel like a lot of times people's like input with the crypto side, obviously, like the whole thing with taxes. I feel like the whole part of going compliant, right, is that last step of paying taxes, like in the business world, like that's on the individual, right? Like companies already have that protection. So if we're sending it out, it's the same thing, right? Like Goliath is going to document whether it's a wire or crypto. It's documented, and then that's up to that individual to do whatever they want.
Goliath will
100%.
produce 1099s, which BlackBlock will assist in at the end of the year, 100%. What they do with it, we don't care. But on their end, they're covered.
So the 1099 for 2025 will include crypto.
Yes.
Exactly.
It'll be a 1099B. We have vetted that multiple times. We can get into that further on a offline conversation. But yeah, it will be a 1099. Yeah.
Taxes are a big problem. It's okay.
And again,
It means you're making money.
and if something's not taxed, that's a red flag. Like that adds, again, legitimacy to what we're doing. That adds legitimacy to what we're doing. Because any investment, anything that you put money into and it grows, it's going to be taxed on some. That's just, we all know this. So, and you tell people, oh, I don't want to pay. Well, okay, can you earn 50% somewhere else? Show me where you can earn a similar amount, and then we'll have it. And even if you do, your 5% yearly CD, you get taxed on that. So that's just a piece of it. But yeah, so MSAs from Director of Partner Services to Goliath, new JV agreements will begin rolling out next week, on Monday.
Yeah, and we know you get a lot of tax questions in the field. It's just defer.
Absolutely.
None of us are tax advisors. Everybody I talk to in the CPA world has a different opinion, including the retained value inside the JV itself. There's a lot of speculation. There is no clear ruling right now. So.
And to note on that too, it's not Nadia's job to give tax advice. So you cannot be sending your people over to Nadia.
I'm always going to tell you to talk to your tax advisor.
Yeah.
That's right. She knows the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Talk to your, and that's what you say too. Like there's questions that we know the answer to because we've done it for 20 years.
Yep.
But I will say an answer, and I will always say, you have to consult your tax advisor. I am not a tax advisor. I will disclaim it every single time. So even if I know 100% what the answer is, I will never, because you don't want to take that liability on.
Taxes is different than the way
Exactly. To Pierce's point, every CPA is different.
And then there's Canada.
Their account, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, just like how every attorney has a different opinion on operations and legal docs, every CPA and tax advisor is gonna have a different way of what they're comfortable structuring it out. So you're gonna get some tax advice that's gonna say X, it's gonna benefit you more. You're gonna have some tax advice that's gonna say X, it's gonna benefit the government more.
And I'm gonna tell them we'll take a break.
However their tax person feels most comfortable claiming it and filing it. It's not a one ruling, this is the standard. Every person's gonna have their own opinion. That's why they need to talk to their own people.
Yep, exactly.
Mike? Sorry, Poon. I didn't know whose hand. Yes.
I'll go. Just going back to the way that funds will be distributed to clients, I'm not sure if it's like a concern or a problem because, more work for the company, but let's say that was. In order to simplify things, wouldn't it be possible to create new wallets that are Goliath-owned wallets, even if, let's say, I operated the wallet and sent it out to the clients, but if that wallet is only used for funds to be sent out to clients, only nothing for my own personal use, could that not still be claimed as like a Goliath-owned wallet, and then it kind of simplifies the work on behalf of Goliath rather than...
That's a good thought, and theoretically, yes, that could work, and we may have thought about that. That's a very good thought that we have potentially thought about.
However, even though we're our own entity, would that be a problem?
What's that?
If I use that wallet, but I'm 21 Ventures or...
It could, no, it would be a Goliath-owned wallet. It'd be a Goliath.
I would give Mike the keys to the ledger,
Correct.
500 grand in here, go disperse it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how, and that can be included in the MSA, correct? So you're doing that on behalf of Goliath, not on behalf of 21. What was your question, Poon?
You guys had mentioned that a 1099 would be given in 2025 or whatever it was. Is that for wires or is that, if that's for crypto, then do they also get a 1099 from Coinbase and they're taking it into Coinbase as well?
So if they,
1099s?
and if they do, they would offset each other. So yeah, so even if they have two, they would offset. So it'd be up to their CPA to know, but yes, you don't pay double taxes.
Right.
So even if like we got Coinbase 1099s, but if you already claim it over here, then your CPA disallows one of those, is essentially what happens. Not a tax advisor, but that's what I think they do.
1099s don't show money movement.
It is. It's you only get a 1099. You can get a 1099 if you made money on it. That's what.
Yeah.
So there's two versions. There's a record of deposit, which is what Nadia's talking about, where money came in, and then there's a I traded crypto and made money, which is 1099. That 1099 you're still on the hook for because you made money. But a record of deposit is different, but you still want to include that in your tax filing because Coinbase lets people know Puneet brought in $2 million in his Coinbase account. So the IRS wants to make sure you're showing that somewhere. So, but you can offset those. Yeah, that's good questions.
But if you stay compounding for a year, or you only take 2 distributions via decentralized, you're still gonna get some type of 1099?
So
Only on distributions.
Only on distributions, because, and if you roll over 13 months, that does, not tax advisors, that falls into long-term capital gain. So if someone were to roll for 13 months, then you fall into a long-term capital gain versus short-term, which is a significant difference. Then you could theoretically start your distributions monthly because you're always taking the 13th month. You know what I'm saying?
Not a tax advisor.
It's a huge difference. Yeah, not tax advisors.
Not
we've
tax
heard.
advisors.
I know.
And swipe.
It's like, but yes, there are ways. So offline, we can talk more about those questions. But yes, there are ways to do it. Is the short answer.
Lots to talk to your accountants about.
Yeah. So we have 2 more really important slides that we want to get through, and then we'll take a break. But these are very, very critical, and you're going to have probably questions on these. The first is our new investor and partner standards, and the next is qualified funds. That we intentionally close this session out with this. So lock in, stay with us. So what we are saying here is the new account minimum for JV contracts is $100,000. What Chris has decided is existing partners who are under the $100,000 minimum will have 90 days to meet the minimum standard. So they'll get a notice that they're under the threshold and they have 90 days to bring themselves up to that. The second piece and these are not BlackBlock rules, by the way. These aren't Chris rules. Everyone does have to be an accredited investor. What that means is, to be clear, like I've heard different interpretations, it's not $1 million in Goliath. It is a net worth. Take everything that you own and put it together. That's your net worth.
Except for your
house. Is it $1 million? Yeah, except for your house, primary residence. So if you own a second house. And then do you make more than $200,000 individually or $200,000 as head of household? 300,000 as head of household, meaning married, filing jointly. Now, how do we know if they are accredited or not? In the new KYC link that you'll send out to people when they onboard, they have to fill out an attestation. Yes, I'm an accredited investor. It lays out what it is. So they have to answer to that question. If someone answers no to that question, it will be what's called a NIGO, not in good order. We can't onboard them. So this is from the attorney side. This is not, again, this isn't like, we're not trying to prevent business. We want everyone to be able to invest, to partner with Goliath. But the reality is, this is one that's a pretty big sticking point.
Yeah, the legal precedent stands. We are in a complicated enough financial instrument that if somebody is not considered an accredited investor or sophisticated investor, is a language they use outside the US, then they have no business trying to figure this out and understand it. They may be the smartest person in the room. It does not change the fact that from a legal standpoint, that's the rule, to stay compliant and to not run the risk of, in other words, if somebody complains and they're an accredited investor, the SEC, FINRA, the governing bodies go, oh, you're an accredited investor. Oh, tough nuts. Even if they lose everything. You knew better, you're an accredited investor, you should be smart enough to figure it out on your own. If they are under that threshold and we knowingly let them in, then when they complain, they go, come on, how would this guy have any idea to be able to properly vet what you guys are doing? If he lost everything, that's your fault, not the investors. That's the difference. It's where does the liability lie? So
there's another key point. The insurance that Goliath has in force covers accredited investors.
Yep.
We had to answer that question. Are you only dealing with accredited investors? Yes. So that whole insurance thing is null and void if we're not dealing with accredited investors. So again, there's like multiple pieces. We have circled the wagons time and time and time again to figure out, hey, can we get around this? Can we pool people to become like we've literally, any question you can think of, we've asked, because that's the one that we're like, gosh, how do we figure this out? And we cannot get around. Like there's just no way for us to get around it. We have tried everything that you can think of. Piers and I have racked our brains with the attorneys to come out. Like we've been peppering them like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? Like every time we had an idea, well, let's see. And it just didn't work, unfortunately.
Yeah, you may not pool investors to become an accredited investor.
Just for the purpose of becoming accredited, we
like
asked.
Put them into an LLC and just, oh, the LLC is accredited, we're fine. That is actually breaking the law at that point.
Yeah, it's fraudulent.
This is just a general violation that'll get you in trouble. That's breaking the law.
Hold on, Mike. Puneet, what was your question?
Yeah, and I think we spoke about it, but just so everyone can hear, you can't have custodial accounts. Is that correct?
Custodial accounts for minors, correct. You cannot own an account. We do not do UTMA accounts under trust for minors. So you can own an account and you can earmark it for your kiddo if you'd like to do it that way, but you can't actually have their name on the account unless they're 18. That's a good question. Mike?
So we're going to be going back to all existing partners to verify that they are accredited investors?
So will we be verifying existing partners is the question. That's a good question. When we send out the new KYC AML link that they fill out, they will have to fill out that attestation. So there's a box that you check that says, I am attesting to, I meet the standard for accredited investor. So it will go out to existing. When we get to your book of business, then they'll go out.
And real quick.
If they lie and say yes?
I'm not we're not vetting them. So I'm not, at this point, we're not following up. I'm not going to make them send in a PFS, a personal financial statement. If they go from no to yes, we will make them send in a PFS.
And, I mean, it's obviously not good, but what happens if 30% of the funds in the company come from people who aren't accredited investors.
They don't. We've looked. Yeah, they don't.
You're saying 30% don't?
No.
Less or more?
Well, no, it's much less. Yeah, we looked. We did look. No, it doesn't. It actually affects a very small percentage.
It's our guess from the profile.
We can get close, and that's even just based off. A lot of people satisfy accredited almost just by their balance, by their partner balance. So it's actually a very small percentage.
But to clarify, that moving forward, of course, you need to be accredited, but for the customers or clients that are already in, they're going to get a form, they'll have to fill it out. If they're a trustworthy person and they know they're not an accredited investor, I mean, they're basically just saying, hey, I gotta get my money back. That's
essentially what they're saying, correct.
If they do choose to say whatever they choose to say, they'll obviously just be staying in, and if they're under 100, they have 90 days.
They have to bring it up, correct, that's all correct.
It's a legal protection. If someone lies and says that they're a accredited investor and that they're not, we've already crossed the T's, dotted the I's, that's on them.
Correct.
They lose their money, we go back to the courts and say, they said they're an accredited investor, we've done our due diligence, they lied to us, the liability falls on them.
100%. So you always just think of it like this. If you're ever in a deposition, you want to always be able to say, hey, did Mike tell you to answer that question? Yes. You know, like you want to be able to make sure, hey, I didn't tell him to answer that question. Yes. But if they lie on the form, we're not policing the form. Yeah. The question is there. It's worded by the attorney. They said make sure they answer it. That's literally the whole conversation.
But as long as we're talking about it.
And for people who are retired, is that the same concept with accredited investing? Is there a different criteria for retired people?
That's a good question, but it is the same. It is the same for retirees. Net worth is where they would likely hit it.
Income would include. Income would include invested asset earnings. Okay. So if somebody's not employed, but they have earnings from their investments that meets or exceeds that threshold.
No, it's not both and. It's either or. Either or. Yes,
yeah.
Benny.
So you guys will just wire back the money in the 90 days if they don't meet the threshold?
At the end of the 90 days.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
You guys would let us know. And
we would let them know because you would send out a letter. We would send a letter out on your behalf that says, hey, you know, your account is currently under X balance. You have until whatever date it is to bring your balance up to. My suspicion, it's going to bring in probably a lot of money because a lot of people who are putting their toe in the water that have the money, they've got 75. And if they have 75 and in the 90 days they compound it and it's at 100, we just need their balance to be at 100,000. We're good with that. It's got to be at 100,000 within that time.
Do we know when that 90-day period is going to start?
Great question. March 1st.
Is that when communication is brought up?
Because we were talking about that the other day. Unless Chris has an issue with that, March 1st is the date we'll use. So tentatively pencil in March 1st, but we will confirm that with him. What's that? Start on March 1st, 90 days from March 1st. Yeah.
June 1st.
Communication is going to come from Goliath and BlackBlock. You guys do not need to reach out.
Correct. You do not have to say, because it will be official communication. We want it worded a certain way. And the way that we have it worded, it's not only legal approved, but it's also very nicely, it's said in a very nice way. So it's the way that you would want it said. It's worded from a sales standpoint too.
Looking at that, Matt, and we talked about this last week, but looking at that, as soon as that memo goes out, we're all getting hit with questions.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure.
So
absolutely.
So you understand how that's going to happen, and we'll get to this. We're not just doing everything all at once, 700 and some investors. No. Everyone's going to be on a schedule so that WealthMD goes first, 25 clients a day. Then I believe Nick is second, 25 a day. You will know well in advance, and we'll go through the schedule.
Yeah. You're not going to pummel us with everyone.
So it might be more than 90 days for some partners.
It could theoretically be longer.
Yeah.
It could, correct. It's because it's 90 days, just to be clear, I say March 1st, it's 90 days from when they get the letter, just so we're on the same page.
Right,
from the day that letter goes out to them, it'll be 90 days from that date exact.
Okay. Is it emailed or physically sent?
It'll be physically sent and emailed.
Okay.
It'll be both.
Okay.
When they're checking that accredited investor box on the form, is that applicable to their jurisdiction where they live? Or is that applicable to the U.S.?
It's kind of the same verbiage over on your credit investor anywhere in the world with this.
It's the same requirement. So as Pierre said, they call it sophisticated investor in other countries, but it's the same numbers, correct? Goliath is a U.S. company, so we have to use U.S. terminology and rules, but it's the same numbers. Yeah, so if you live in Europe, if you live in the UAE,
Even our BVI fund.
BVI.
It's the same.
BVI fund uses the exact same thing, yeah. And now that's even, they do have to provide information on that because that is an actual registered fund. Yeah, you have to have a signed letter.
To vouch that they are accredited investors.
Yeah, CPA, attorney, or financial advisor. You have to have it signed if it's a registered. Goliath is private, so we're not doing that. But for our insurance to pay out, we have to be able to show that we've reasonably attempted to verify people are accredited. That's kind of like the thing that we are going to be on the hook for as BlackBlock. Did you guys reasonably attempt to verify accredited investor status? And we could say, yes, we have this. They attested to it. They knew it was an attestation. That's what we have. And so that satisfies our insurance requirements.
And there's one other piece, and we keep throwing around the acronyms KYC and AML, but they stand for Know Your Customer, meaning you've done your due diligence, you know who this person is, you trust that you know who they are. AML is anti-money laundering. But what we're talking about here is KYC. This is Know Your Customer 101. If you're like, oh crap, there is no way that Tommy is an accredited investor, and that form comes back checked, yes, I'm an accredited investor, and you're like, dude, I know Tommy's not accredited. That dude doesn't have anything. You are in a very slippery area there, where if you think someone lied on an attestation, they need to go. We can request a personal financial statement that their accountant has signed off on, and they can go, no, bro, and you don't have to see it, right? As come discreetly to us. We see that, we go, okay, we appreciate your concern. He's good, he's truly an accredited investor. No personal information is shared, but that's knowing your customer, and that's the basis of that. Because if you ever do get pulled into a depot and somebody's like, I don't know, did you think he was? And you're like, no, but did you know that he had checked the box that he was? Well, yeah, I guess so. Like, that's on you. And that is not going to end well. That is why if you think someone's lying, you got to flag them, bring them to first Goliath's attention, let them bring them to us, and we will do what needs to be done.
We can vet it out from there, yeah.
We want a clean pool. Like, we want a clean pool of investors that are honest, diligent, careful. Again, we're all in this boat together.
If it's an LLC, do you need an attestation from every member of the LLC?
Anyone with more than 20% ownership, or 20% or more, they're called controlling interests.
Yeah.
So if anyone has an LLC, that's part of the due diligence process where you go, hey, who are your controlling partners in this LLC? Oh, I'm a sole member. Cool. Then that's a pass-through. It's just you. You can attest to it.
Isn't that a pool?
It is, but as long as they didn't create it for the exclusive purpose of becoming an accredited investor, it's fine.
You said that just like an attorney.
We talk about it a lot. Yeah. We've been.
We have a couple that are obviously in LLC.
That's okay. LLC is great. We love LLCs. LLCs are awesome. We love them actually more.
Do they have to be an individual or?
No, they could be either, but we love LLCs. They're actually better for the JV side. We'd love everyone to be LLCs, truthfully.
As long as they weren't set up for investment pooling purposes, then that is considered a fund and that is breaking the law.
Yeah, if you're trying to pool
Not
your
you, but
resources,
them.
that's where it comes in. But yeah, LLC is great.
Going forward, if you have 4 people at $50,000 each, is that breaking the law?
No. It's what the deal is because now that LLC is big enough to come in, which is fine. They can't they can't form an investment pool exclusively to become accredited. That's the issue, not the amount of money or anything else. So as long as they're accredited, it's irrelevant. They can form a fund and invest in Goliath. They can't do it to try and bypass the accreditation rules. That's where the caveat comes in. Does that make sense?
If there's 4 people in it, do each of them have to meet the
Yes.
$1 million or more?
If they're over 20%, as Pierre said,
Anyone with more than 20% ownership.
20%.
Either or, Jay, it's $1 million net worth, or they've had an income for less than
Or.
years of $200,000.
Yeah, you don't have to meet both. That is an either or. Yeah, it's not a both and. Income or net worth. Yeah, we would probably need to add the word or, because that is an either or. You do not have to be both of those. Absolutely. Yeah, we knew there'd be a lot of questions on this one. Any other questions on those?
I got a question and concern. Question being, I mean, 2 years in my house, I don't have a combined pool of 200. I don't have assets of 100 million. I can take that.
Not 100 million.
I'm sorry.
I'm in. 100 million. That would be a very high standard. Yikes. It's like, okay, that's a lot. Okay, but the actual question.
So yeah, I don't have a net worth of $1 million. 2 years consecutive in my house, there wasn't a combined income of 200. That's a little bit right now. So I know.
We'll meet with you and look at one off. We can get together one-on-one. We'll figure it out.
All right. And concern portion I have on it, I know one huge aspect, at least with the few partners that I have, is that I think with putting this, I understand with the 90-day limit to come up to the $100,000. I get that. But now you're adding this other accredited requirement to it. I have a number of people that I know most likely don't meet that. These are people that put trust in us before Fidelity was ever questioned. They trusted me, they trusted Chris, they trusted what we were doing. They were at the Christmas party when we announced this, and now it's just not you guys. Thank you for the ride. We understand that you were looking at this as an outlet to get out of your job and pursue another passion, but you can't do that anymore. I understand. It's a big slap in the face to the littler people.
Sure. I don't disagree with you at all. We can let's sit down and have a longer conversation one-on-one. I don't disagree with you because I think there's some things we can discuss.
We're gonna roll it out with obviously who we know is good to go and our high dollar people. We're gonna segregate out and meet with each individual director for their people, and we'll figure something out. Some people will be removed, some people will figure a solution for. But it's not gonna be March 1st.
No.
1,500 emails get
Correct. We're not just gonna start booting people. And again, this is one of those, it's our, like if this were something we came up with, I would be like, oh man, well, we'll just change it. It's the legality of it. So, and that's, I know.
Yeah, I just, I got my mom, and she doesn't have $100,000. And I got friends that are trusting me with this, and
so circle back with me one-on-one, David. Okay, because there's a couple of things we'll talk about. Yes, I will answer. I have an answer for you for sure.
I think it's probably going to be a similar thing for many people.
Yeah.
Like many of our family members are invested and probably aren't considered accredited investors, right? Even if they meet the minimum balance.
Let me do this because there's a lot of similarities. If it's like a family member or something, circle back with us one-on-one because I have thoughts on that. So
A lot of people have that like $500,000 to $700,000 net worth range.
Mm-hmm.
Where like they just under.
Yeah, just close to it.
Is there anything general you can just, or is it more so that you want us to come talk to you privately, or is there anything that you can just disclose because we're kind of all looking, a lot of people just are curious about that. If not, obviously we'll talk about it.
They're not in this setting. I can't say it publicly. Yeah.
Going back, we're gonna segment the list out. We're gonna deal with the people that we are 100% good to go. We'll create a list of people who are not, and we'll deal with that separately.
Yeah, that'll take time.
Yes, for sure. So it's not, nobody's getting a kick-out letter tomorrow or March 1st. Alex, what was your question?
Just a question for the new percentage structure. When does that roll out?
Yeah, so that's what we had talked about the last time we talked, Chris. So I think what most people are doing is 1 to 5, 3%, 5 and up 4. So this is the last conversation we had. So Chris and I will confirm this. I'll confirm this with him. This is the structure that we had set up. It's been a little while. So I'll confirm that, and we'll have it rolled out for March 1st. We'll have it confirmed with you. I will.
This is going to be the one?
What's that?
You mean as of March 1st, you're going to confirm whether that is what we're going by?
Yes. Because I want to verify that Chris is on board with that.
Changing the terms way too drastically in such a short amount of time.
People that are at higher percentages come in at the same percentages, though, to be clear. So people that are higher get grandfathered in. So whatever you have already on the books, because I know like that doesn't change. This is for new business coming in.
I think it's more just talking about the verbiage is like, oh, people know the verbiage just changed to 3%, 4%, and now it's like 2 months later, we're changing it again.
Yeah. This is a proposed. We can keep it how we are.
100%. This is the last piece that we discussed. So Chris may say, we're going to keep it at the 3 and 4. We're good with that. That's totally fine.
And I mean, not a big deal, but obviously, you know, I have daily meetings with people that are.
Yeah, we're
You don't-
talking 3-4%.
Yeah,
If we were to
anywhere
roll
between
this out, I'd do 90 days right now.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to, 100%, we don't want to roll out too much. I agree. So there are standards. The whole point of that is there are standards. I guess that's the key takeaway.
Very good.
Yeah.
So just every deal we're working on now, we do not need to mention that. We finish the deal.
Yes, as you're doing, 3-4, correct. Absolutely. Let's hit qualified so that we can take a break. So qualified funds, that is an umbrella term that applies to 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, pensions, SEP, simples, Roths, and anything in between. Anything that is considered a qualified plan. We are able to take qualified funds as a result of the insurance that is now in place. Qualified funds are extremely different than the way you onboard money now. So because of that, there's a $250,000 minimum on the qualified funds. However, if they have a non-qualified account, we can combine balances. So if they do have money on the non-qualified, like regular side, yes?
Meaning they have 100,000 non-qualified and they have 150 in that.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Oh, it's 250 total?
Yeah, it's 250 total. 250 total.
You have 2 Roths at 200 and 200.
That's fine.
Even better.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, but yes.
Oh,
It's a total.
Yeah, we can.
No,
household.
the total with Goliath is 250. The main reason for that, guys, is there is lots of steps that go into qualify. It is a total different bird. We have to employ Madison Trust, and Piers is the master that came up with actually how to do this. But because of that, WealthMD is the one who is handling all qualified funds, because you get into what's called ERISA, and ERISA is essentially the regulations that you have to follow when you touch qualified money. And our 20 years each, that's all we did was deal with ERISA. If you do something incorrect on ERISA, back to the whole ship, it can bring down the whole ship. Now you have an ERISA inquiry and we have a huge problem. So any type of qualified dollars, those are the funds, back to Mike's question, which we have information for you. If someone's onboarding qualified, I'm currently handling those questions. So if you're like, hey, I need to talk to someone, like someone has a 401k, multiple people in the room are already moving qualified dollars in. You don't have to do anything other than say, hey, they have a 401k or an IRA, whatever it is. You have to speak with Matt. Like basically when you find out that someone has qualified dollars, you want to pass that over. And good news, WealthMD handles everything top to bottom for you and splits the override with you. It's very simple. You obviously you have to get paid to do that work. But it just also to give you an idea, it does take about 4 to 6 weeks for this process, because you have to go get the money from the financial institution. We have to set up a new LLC. It's actually a self-directed IRA, LLC. We have to set up a bank account. We have to establish an account with Madison Trust. Like there's like 9 different steps that we have to do. We have one employee, Kristen, that you'll get her contact. Her full-time job is qualified money only. That's all she does, is handle qualified money. So whenever there's a qualified question, it'll route straight to Kristen. Penny?
Do you know, I mean, you might not know this, but do they get penalized for moving money from a qualified fund into?
No.
No, that's why we're doing it this way. So there's no penalty
No
and it
tax.
stays tax-free.
Yeah. Which also means that the growth inside
Correct.
qualified accounts never gets taxed until they take a distribution.
Correct.
I would say on those accounts, so there is no payouts, it's only compound.
Correct. If you take a payout, it would be considered an early pre-59.5 distribution. 10% penalty and taxes is what we would assume. Steve?
And to kind of follow up with that too, is after if we have people that are 60 years of age and do the qualified fund, then they're not going to be hit with those penalties.
They're just
Correct.
pay ordinary income tax.
Non-qualified fund. You could take a monthly distribution.
You could do the same distribution as anything else, absolutely. Yeah, and also the interest rates apply to all accounts. So if they have 250 non-qualified and 250 qualified, that's 500. So they get the benefit of the higher percentage. Just as you don't get penalized because one's qualified and one's not qualified. So whatever that percentage is, the total balance, they'll get that paid out across the board.
I guess now going forward, speaking with new partners, potential partners, we should be trying to confirm from the beginning that they're qualified investors, otherwise there's no point.
Accredited?
Accredited.
Sorry, accredited investors, otherwise there's no point of even talking to them.
Accredited, yes.
Correct.
You should qualify, yes, qualify that. Yeah, that's key.
My lead list just dropped down 99%.
I know we talked about a discovery packet of some sort, like with our training material. What's the ETA on that? Is that something that we're looking at? Because this is good stuff that can be a part of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, part of it's going to be online that you'll have access. Yeah, we actually have training modules that are going live when, I don't know what the date is.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's in the next section.
We're going to cover that. So, but yes, we will have that. Steve?
You just said something that makes me go back to your previous slide with the tiered system. I know that's kind of still up in the air, but you had mentioned if I have a qualified and a non-qualified each at 250, and that's equal at 500 now. Does that mean that this tiered system, once you hit $1 million, you actually jump up to 4% if I'm sitting at 3?
Yes.
Yes.
That's how it would work.
The potential structure is?
Yes, it all counts together.
Cumulative and aggregate.
Yeah.
Because right now, we're currently at a flat 3 or 4%, but we could go to a 2% in the future if we agree on that.
Yes, and then when you hit a mill, correct.
Come in at 2, but now I've got.
You would go up at each level. It also gives you another question to ask because a lot of people have money sitting in old IRAs and old 401ks and like. The reason that we figured this out, it's $1 trillion market, retirement accounts. It's huge.
My TSP account from the Army, I just got that, $2,500.
There you go. Yeah, sweet. Cool. Oh, man. We're real excited to roll that in for you, Steve. Okay, 2,500 big ones. Okay. Sweet. Calculate the money now.
Not going to hit the minimum.
I know you briefly talked on the percentage breakdown, but I just want to make sure everyone hears that about the split between qualified funds.
Yes. So on qualified money, yes. Essentially, the way it works is whatever percentage they get paid. The fee over that just gets split between the referring partner or director and WealthMD. That's how it works. WealthMD does all of the work. You're responsible for 0. It's just half and half. You do 0 work. Like literally do nothing on that. Because even the servicing, that's why we have a dedicated person. The servicing's different. Like if someone were to call in and say, I need to take money out of my account, well, it's qualified. We have to make sure that our service person says, hey, there's potential tax and penalty implications if you do this. So there's like a whole different, beneficiaries have to be set up differently on ERISA-sponsored plans. So it's an entirely different flow on that. Like
Salesforce though, would that partner be technically managed under BlackBlock and all that, or would it still be under us?
it is managed under, but we will share those files so you can always see it.
Okay, so
Yeah. You'll absolutely be able to see all of it. Absolutely. You're the primary contact still, but we'll service that side of it. Exactly. But you'll be able to see it. Yes, 100%. Steve.
So this is a huge market right here, this qualified fund.
Huge.
$1 billion. So I have.
Huge.
This is retirement systems, investments, retirement.
FRS. Huge dollars
So-
in
When
FRS.
does this go into effect, like
Wait.
right now?
Right now it's available.
Real
right
quick.
Now. Yeah.
Time out.
Right.
Time out. Sit before you, don't get too excited. If someone is currently at a job, they have a 401k, thrift savings plan, something like that, that money we can't touch. If they are currently making contributions into a plan, it is not eligible for rollout in service.
There is
Yeah,
one.
get them to
there's-
retire today.
There's one caveat to that. Some plans allow for in-service distributions. There is a caveat. This is why if someone has a qualified plan, you say, call Matt. I know those questions to ask. And so if there's a way to get the money out, I will get it. FRS is one. FRS does allow in-service distributions. So,
just roll
so
out.
what that means is they can roll out everything currently, but then their new contributions would still go to FRS, and then you can do another rollout later. But yes, and FRS also has pensions that you can roll out too. So if someone retires, those are big numbers. They go into drop, boom, you can roll out $500,000 in one whack. Yeah, there's a huge market.
Things that we can.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, and absolutely we'll have a cheat sheet on qualified plans. You want to do because it's extremely important how you word things. So very quickly pass those off if you would. Like other than you find out they've got the minimum, and they've got money they want to move. Okay, pass that and let us answer the specific questions. Which you're more than welcome to be on those calls, Jay, because then you know how to answer those questions moving forward too. Mike and I had a call with one of his partners, and so I know you can hear the questions that I'll ask, and that way you kind of get an idea of, okay, what are some of the general questions to find out?
So we get with the client, they go ahead and give us the information that we need, which is typically a summary plan document from their plan. They have to request it. Those go immediately up to our attorneys in the trust company who handles all the sub-steps of making sure it's done right. They are third-party administrators, so they are approved by the Department of Labor to do this kind of work, and it takes all the liability off of us and puts it over onto that side. That's why we're super cautious about how we handle this and why we set it up this way.
Are we gonna be allowed to say, not necessarily door knock on a senior citizen's residence, but hold a presentation for example?
Yes. In your training, there actually is specific training related to senior citizens because there are certain rules of how you interact. But could you do a seminar? Yeah, you could do a seminar.
We strongly discourage
Canada.
elder seminars.
Yeah, elder
Somewhere we're going
seminars.
back to
There's
Canada.
crazy rules on it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
they're very, very specific. There's like elder abuse laws is kind of what they refer to it as. So you do have to be careful.
Seminar sales.
Yeah.
You can call it.
Any other questions on this before we take a quick break? All right. We'll have more time too for more questions, but the first thing we want to hit in this session, the rollout schedule. Couple different pieces to this. So the first big piece to this is we are going to have updated JV agreements. So the new JV agreements include some updated language that the attorneys have put in. So they've modified a few things here and there. One of the biggest changes that you want to make sure you make people aware of is there will be a 72-hour void clause in it. If they do not fund their contract within 72 hours, the JV agreement voids so that Chris isn't on the hook for some agreement that you guys sent out 8 months ago. They can't send money in. So currently that doesn't exist. So this is why we're going to do new, and we will repaper everyone. BlackBlock will get updated JV agreements every year moving forward on their anniversary. And the reason for that is we want to have a within 12-month statement. Yes, I read, I know what I'm doing. Again, this is all back to, we want to have plenty of check boxes to say everybody who's involved in this knew exactly what they're doing, when they did it, why they did it, and what it's for. That's the big piece on the JV. You want to talk about anything else with that or the DPS?
The other major pieces.
The other big piece, the DPS. You guys are DPS, by the way. That's you, Director of Partner Services.
Congratulations, by the way, if we didn't already say it.
My director of engineering was DPS, Daniel P. Steele.
Oh.
So this is going to be haunting for you. We're going to do individualized training. I mentioned that before, but one of the other pieces that's part of that is we're going to have a dedicated training site for you for one or for a specific set of elements. It's a BlackBlock branded site by one of our partners, WebCE, where you'll have an individual login. We can see it. You'll have 10 days once these go out, so chill out. It's not happening tomorrow. When we track your rollout schedule, right? And we're gonna be like, hey man, 10 days before your rollout, we're gonna send you a link. It's gonna allow you to go into the training site for KYC AML, elder abuse, ethics, We're going to put you through, everybody gets to do it, regardless of post or position. Literally everyone's going to do it. Everyone in our company does it, right down to the janitor. Straight up, because of the work that we do, we want to make sure that everyone is certified and says, hey, I've been trained, I've got the certificate, I know what I'm doing. It clears us, it clears you if anything ever comes up. So that will be coming out 10 days prior to your rollout for your individual books. Buckle up, Nick. Because I'm pretty sure we're day 10 before that happens, so surprise. Again,
surprise.
When we run clients through this system as part of the new JV contracts that are going out to them, they're going to do the KYC, AML, OFAC. So you understand what these are. KYC, know your customer. It's a biometric scan, driver's license picture, proves that they are who they say they are. Anti-money laundering is just going through and making sure that they don't have any histories or any active investigations on them for laundering money. You'll be trained on what that means, so you'll be able to detect money laundering red flags. As a byproduct of taking the AML training, you're going to come out the other side being very adept at knowing how to launder money. It's like the old school videos, don't do drugs, and you're like, I never thought I could smoke weed out of an apple. Think I'll try it. But that's how that works.
Very adept.
What, because I'm the only one who's like, that's a good idea. OFAC, Office of Foreign Affairs and Control, that is the terrorist checklist. That is making sure that anybody that you're talking to that you wouldn't think was a terrorist, I'm sorry, I know your entire book of business is screwed. We can't avoid it. All terrorists.
And international terrorists, not Latinos.
Yeah, to be clear.
Fact.
And that's a good distinction.
To be clear, we want to make sure we nail that.
That's a good
point.
distinction.
That's a good distinction. Very critical.
There's a checkbox for that. The other one's politically exposed person. If they're somebody that's related to or are a politically exposed person, it's going to pop up a yellow flag. It doesn't mean that we can't work with them. It just means that we have knowledge of that they could have political influence, so on and so forth, and so we have to be thoughtful of that. The real dead knockouts are if someone gets a pop on the OFAC, red flag that says they are related to or are a terrorist or on some sort of do not fly list, it's a solid kill. We have no choice. No, hey, let's go talk over here and I'll figure out a way to help you out. No.
Yeah, there's no way on that. No workaround.
Like,
if they're Osama bin Laden's cousin, it's probably a red flag. Just FYI. Probably not going to be able to work with them.
First, we will see it come through on the check. Pete, politically exposed, yellow flag. It just means heightened supervision.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out, if we were to get an AML flag, right? This person appears to be laundering money, something like that. We have to internally launch an investigation. I want everyone to hear me say this. This is how, everything else you can ignore except for this. Don't. If we launch an investigation, we will talk to you and we will say, hey, we have to investigate this person for money laundering. You may not tell the client that they are under investigation. If you do, you are now an accessory to money laundering and will be prosecuted as an accessory to money laundering, which includes fines and jail time.
No bueno.
Yep.
And there's nobody that can save you on that, unfortunately. There's no insurance to cover that. That's just like, hey, you aided and abetted. Sorry.
Let's hope that never happens. But if it did, that's why I want to just underscore this. That's going to be in your training over here.
Yes.
So you can say, oh, I remember he said that. Don't go telling the guy that he's being investigated.
You did say that if that were to come up where you start that investigation, you would reach out to us.
Yes. Yep, absolutely, because we need questions answered from you. How do you know this person? What do you know about them? Let's talk about suspicious activities, what have you. That we then take and hand that over to the authorities if we think there's something there. It doesn't mean they're going to kick his door in, but if they feel there's something worth investigating, they'll take it from there. We can never tip a client off to that.
Next slide.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was pretty solid. I got sugar.
Yeah, well, they'll be aware because it asks questions in the new link, which the link, how are we sending that out, Aaron, the KYC Goliath link?
It'll be out via email from BlackBlock.
So BlackBlock will send that out. That will go out today, tomorrow. What is the rollout for that?
For each of them to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that will come, by the end of the week, they'll have it.
You'll have it yourself, so you'll do it first, and that way you know. So it is a really nice, we actually have it custom branded for Goliath, and it'll walk you through all the questions. Yeah, man.
Is that something that's gonna go out like directly with the contract then, so they can just fill out the contract and fill that out, so you have all that info?
Correct. Once they fill out the one piece, it actually populates to the database and then populates, which we'll hit that too, but that's a great question. It will populate everything
Are we
over.
gonna wait for a response before having people send money, so we don't deal with that, or is that maybe not something?
Yes, we have to wait until, like, Nadia can't accept money until she has an in good order that, hey, everything's passed, which BlackBlock clears the person and says, yep, green light, you're good to put money in.
Amazing. Okay.
Awesome. And we get notified at that point?
Yes, you'll know. Yeah, but and you'll get notified if there's an issue, because if there's an issue and we have money, then you have 72 hours to fix that issue. Otherwise, we have to send that money back. We can't hold money for longer than 72 hours. What was your question, Mike?
Yeah, we're still gonna have the same process where these guys send it to Stephanie and say, hey, send out this agreement. Is it still gonna be that process, or is it gonna be different now because it's all in one link?
It'll be different now.
So are each exec's gonna have like access within their Salesforce to send those out, or how are you gonna do that?
Yeah, we're gonna do it on their behalf. BlackBlock will handle all
Also, BlackBlock.
It just will look like it's coming from you.
Did you give a start date on that?
Yeah, when's the start?
Aaron, what is the rollout on that? The new JVs. So those are coming in Monday. Soon as the new JVs are in, we will let you guys know, because as soon as the new JVs are in, we'll be able to upload them and get everything rolling. So operate as normal for right now, but within the next week and a half, like 10 days most, that will be changing. But we'll give you, like I say, there'll be communication coming out.
See session 3.
Yes.
We'll cover a little bit more about it.
Session 3 is not as fun as this session, Aaron. This is a blast. Okay. Any other questions on that? Cool. Nope. You.
Did you say what the PEP was?
Politically exposed person.
Yeah.
There
Member
will
of
be
a
a
royal
quiz.
family, something like that, where there's just certain protocol that we have to take. You can't use normal communication is essentially what it comes out to.
Nephew of the supreme leader of the Taliban. Not that anyone knows anyone.
I don't, yeah.
His money's good then.
I mean, his check's clear, I'll tell you that.
But
And he's got cash. Gold bars, cool.
as we go, go ahead, sir.
You just brought up a quick point. We are starting to get into, I get this question a lot, so I just want to bring it up and get oversight on it. We're starting to deal with a lot of pro athletes. A lot of these pro athletes are cash heavy and they want to come in. How do we handle that scenario? They do a big signing agreement, they get paid $250,000, they want to give that to us. How do we handle that situation?
Physical cash?
Yeah.
Physical cash.
Correct.
They need to put that in a bank. We
Yeah.
cannot accept physical cash. That is a massive money laundering red flag.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing
Yeah.
for them to put it in the
There's
bank?
what Nadia said, no
Same thing,
exceptions.
yeah.
Cash to put it in the bank.
That, it does make, it looks very sketchy.
How'd they get the cash?
It could be, not a guarantee, but I know like they own watches and diamonds and gold, so they could sell something and get cash. Like I know how they could do it, and it's probably legitimate, but the problem is we can't verify it. And we have to be able to know, like we have to be able to attest, yeah, we know where the money came from. That's the issue with cash, unfortunately.
We're starting to get into that space of a lot of either retired or big pro athletes. And to your point, they do signings, they sell a watch, they do an appearance, they do this, they get handed back cash. They want to give it to us.
Put it in your bank. Put it in the bank and hand it to us.
Chances are they already have money in the bank.
Yeah.
The Bengals didn't give me my money in cash.
Because if they have it in cash and they're not putting it in the bank, the only reason would be to avoid taxes. Like, so we would.
Well, yeah, for sure.
We know plenty of people who have vaults filled with cash.
Oh, like we have business owners in Polk County that have 7 figures in cash because they're contractors and they take cash. Like I get it, I get why they do it, but do business in cash. That's what I always tell them. Just do business in cash, but we have to take the bank money.
Yeah, you got to make it legit, at least for a day. We're doing weekly progress, so as we roll this out and your specific schedule starts to hit and your rollout is starting to happen, you will get weekly progress updates from us, which will just say, hey, you've got, of your 50 clients, 35 are done, 10 have never opened an email, and this many are kind of stuck in the process. We want to communicate that with you so that you can communicate back to them. We are not going to sit there and, bark on them, hey, do this, do this. That's not our job. Our job is to communicate that to you, let you know so that you can call the people who are, offline or whatever. I understand things will happen, people are out of the country, but nonetheless, this stuff should be pretty quick to get through for them. But we will keep you up to date on where they are.
Make sure that nothing's been hacked. Like, as Chris just mentioned, we're dealing with lots and lots and lots of money. We have to make sure that there's a protocol in place to ensure, hey, we're actually caring for that money. So they will call you guys. So that's step 3. They will call you and verify. You'll know what the last 3 digits are, or 4 digits, and you'll verify. You'll say, yep, the last 3. That's also the way you know they actually read the agreement, because when they go to read it, they're like, oh, wait a sec, I don't have this. So they'll call you, you'll verify that. If you are unavailable, BlackBlock has as a backup through a WealthMD line, we will verify that for you. So that's not a, hey, have every partner call us. That's a, Puneet's out of town and they need to give money. Well, we have to take that money. BlackBlock will be the one that will verify that information for you. After the verification call is completed, then you guys go in and add verification notes into Salesforce. What does that look like? One of the big things, we keep talking about notes. What will protect you if there's ever a legal incident is documentation. So Puneet will go in and he'll basically do a quick, it's literally on Salesforce, you'll click phone call, verified account information with partner. That's the whole note. I talk, like if you have a phone call with a client, with a partner, spoke to them about their distribution, they want to stay on roll-up or whatever. So it's a way that when you have interactions with your partners, you can go back, because you guys know this, you can't remember what you talked about last year to someone. I mean, you have 200 people, you have no idea what you talked about. This allows you to pull back up and go, oh, yes, I did go over this with you. I remember this. Also, I've used it over the years where just to make notes to myself. They have 3 kids, they have 2, like things that I want to remember about that specific person, I'll just make a quick note. That way when I pull it up, it seems like I know them, right? Like they think, okay, Matt does actually care who I am as a person. Because it's very difficult to remember. You get over 10 people, it's like my brain is scrambled eggs, so I can't remember that. So that's a way that you can use it not only to help on the sales side, but also if there's ever an issue, those documents will save your behind. And then the last piece is financial department action, which that is Nadia. Nadia will log into Salesforce, verify that she sees an in good order check. She's got money, she sends it on, you guys are all good. If it's a wallet transfer, that goes through Chris, but same thing, in good order. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Once she clears it and receives the money, it will send a push back to you.
And is it our job to send that out, or will they just get an automatic alert?
No.
Yeah.
Are you talking about you or the partner? The director. You'll get it back. Yes, you'll get a notification.
We'll get a notification, but we don't have to send communication saying, hey, wire's been received. They'll just get it automatic once Nadia confirms it.
That's right. Exactly.
Ultimately, in the Salesforce system, there's a total workflow for that. And once that final task is completed, it'll pop up on your dashboard, and it could trigger an email, but it'll pop up on a dashboard that's just like, this sale is won. And
But it can also send a partner
fully
email.
funded.
So if you want, it'll send a verification email. That can be part of the workflow.
Yeah.
Is this integrated to the current dashboard we have, or it's going to be through Salesforce?
Through Salesforce, new system. So
Building a new dashboard in Salesforce, so it's going to be 100 times better.
it's great, and I will say the biggest thing, we're not married to one developer, and also if there's ever an issue, it's Salesforce's problem, not Goliath's.
Yeah. That's a
We want to
big
transfer liability.
And
If Salesforce gets hacked, not
our
Goliath's
problem.
problem. That's totally on Salesforce. So it builds in another layer of protection for you guys and for Goliath.
the sheer amount of non-public personal information that exists in the database requires a high level
remark also makes us look a lot more legit.
That's what was very, very expensive, by the way. That's, yes.
Turns out, yeah.
Turns out it's a lot of freaking money.
What we want
as
is
it
not
were.
what they do.
Something like powered by Salesforce or something like that?
It will, yes. It will. Yeah, it'll say power.
That could be credibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's like part of it.
Yeah, they're a Fortune, 200 company?
They're pretty big.
They're pretty, I mean, they're big.
They're kind of a big deal.
They're decent. They're almost as big as Goliath.
They're smallest conference, 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're decent, little company. Any questions on the wire process or how that works? Good, okay.
The wire's still gonna go, it's gonna be the same bank account?
If you're using Goliath, yes. Are you like you're giving them Goliath's wire account now? Their Chase?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yes, same account. Yeah, same info.
We're in the Wild West, right? We all know that. And so
We're
this
still
is
in the Wild
dynamic.
West, absolutely.
Right now, we have a good domestic thing. Clearly, we need to clean up Canada. That's okay.
Yeah.
We will.
We need to make them the 51st state.
That'll fix everything.
Then we'll be good.
And then it'll be a domestic.
Well, no, Greenland's going to be 51. Canada can be 52. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Greenland's 51. All right.
Where were we?
Multi-phase rollout
Yeah.
strategy.
So we're going to focus on the sales side first, getting contracts, getting you guys, getting money in the door to fund contracts for the people that you have in process. As far as what we're doing with Salesforce goes, right? Then we start to, the advanced features start to come in the next month that we've discussed, and within the next 2 months? Ish. Now, within the next 2 months, we want that fully functional partner portal so that they can just go in, see everything, look at their own statements. Basically, let's eliminate them bothering you for things that they can just go in and find on their own. See their transaction histories, know what's going on.
And to keep it simple, are we just gonna start fresh once you guys roll out the full partner portal instead of trying to, transfer information over? Because some of it can get very messy.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning.
Yeah.
We'll migrate the required data, but when we push everyone through the KYC checks, it's going to grab all of their fresh, up-to-date information, so we have a totally clean database right out of the start.
Yeah.
So we don't have to bother you to, hey, this field's not right, or this says OH instead of Ontario, or, Yeah, it'll clean all of that up. One of the other things from a functionality standpoint that I've heard is important is from the top down, all the way down to the director level, you'll be able to run in, look at all of your partner accounts as a group, be able to run reports off of that, who's funded this, you can get really advanced reporting inside of there, so you have a better stand on what your book of business looks like. When was the last time somebody onboarded money, whatever. Just, you'll get granular reporting that you don't need a programmer to do for you.
Yeah. All at your fingertips. It's going to be very helpful from that standpoint.
Especially for training.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ongoing support. So we understand you're not going to be able to know everything from day one. We don't expect you to. It's a big program. We have done, our team with Nicole and Aaron have done a really good job building this thing out to kind of like make it customized for what we need. Because Salesforce, if you were to just go into it, it's like this giant, huge mammoth of a program, and we don't need all that. So that's part of what we've been doing is kind of getting it dialed into what we actually do need. But with that in mind, there's going to be ongoing training. There will be ongoing assistance. So this is back to your fees that you're paying. You can actually, our BlackBlock team is available for you. Aaron and Nicole are available. If you have questions, Kaylee will probably be doing that as well. So we have another gal, Kaylee, that will be doing anything related to Salesforce. So if you're like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to do X, Y, Z, if we don't have the answer, we'll get you the answer. So use our team to help you figure this out. It's not a situation where we're just going to be like, hey, adhere to all these standards and figure it out. We're actually going to be there for you. That's part of why Goliath pays BlackBlock is to do that for you. So we want to make sure that you're able to use the system and have all the tools you need. As far as like ongoing features, there are multiple phased rollouts, as we've mentioned. So Not everything will be day one. For instance, the partner portal will not be day one. That's likely going to be end of March, early April-ish. Sometime in April is likely the time. Is that give or take? Okay. I'm getting a circle nod. I'm not sure.
Super hopeful.
So we're hoping, but
sales first, remember.
Sales first. We're rolling out the important critical pieces first, which is the KYC integration, the JV doc integration, the wire chart. So there's those, the in good order, not in good order. The critical pieces to how we do business are being done. Also, we have to have the ability to communicate with all your partners. That has to be integrated day one. So those are the things we're hitting first. Then we'll continue a phased rollout where new features will be added. You will get communication from us on average about once a week. Hey guys, here's what the new thing is. We're rolling this out. It's going to be coming at the end of this month. New Salesforce update. We're having a training on this day at this time of Zoom. You can log in, take a look, or give us a call one-on-one. We can work through it with you. So we're going to continue stay in communication with you guys so you know what's coming. You'll have to read your emails, to know that. But we will communicate with you guys so we're not just leaving you out there to figure it out on your own.
And immediately, we're going to start plugging into your normal sales calls that, you guys have as a group weekly, right? Ish, mostly. So that we can use that opportunity to also bring you guys up to speed on what the updates are, where we're looking, share stories, solicit feedback, and try to make everything as smooth as possible.
Yeah, let me caveat that. So they're employed through your LLC, they're paid through your LLC, that's your deal with that.
Exactly.
Caveat though, too, they are required. This goes into the legal protection
and also the consequences. They're required to meet with Eric, our attorney, and sign an NDA and confidentiality agreement because you are giving them access to client data. And so if they are not signed by that, that is another strike that'll go against you. So anyone who
have earning commissions needs to also go
correct,
through the whole process.
correct.
background checked and everything.
And if they're not at fault. If they do anything, we will come after you for not following protocol. Got it? So anyone who has access to any client data needs to be under an NDA and a confidentiality agreement starting March 1st.
But what about somebody you give commission to, but they don't have any access to any client data, just for a referral?
Just still NDA them.
Yeah.
Just it. They're privy to conversation. They're privy to intellectual conversation, operations working, whatever. Listen, they're earning a paycheck.
Technically, they shouldn't have given the referral if they're not an investor, because that's what I heard from Chris just say. It shouldn't happen.
It's clear that you guys listen to 90% of what I say and play in the 10% gray, which I've come to deal with. I'm asking you to have them sign NDAs and confidentiality agreements to protect you. If they are signed and they are in breach, which means the company will go after them. If you have failed that, I will spend every dollar I have, like I've said before, I will spend every dollar I have to protect my company, and I will come after you in every way possible. So just follow that small step and do yourself and save yourself a headache. Got it?
Critical. Yeah, and from our end, they have to be background checked. That is a key.
I have a lot of money.
Yeah. They do need to be background checked too. That is a key. So it's not like what you're doing. It's just it's in the way that we're wording things. They're a 1099 independent contractor for your company that's getting paid a fee or commission, whatever you want to call it. We're okay with that, but you just have to do it the right way. Yes.
In this meeting, are we going to discuss that breakdown? Like I mentioned to you about commissions and having some type of standardization around, the guys that are sucking it.
Of what you pay. So the reality is, if you want to employ someone in your company and pay them, we don't care. That's between you and your employee. I don't care what you pay them. What Chris and I care about is that they're NDA'd, they've signed the confidentiality assignment agreement, and that they have been background checked properly. That's what I care about. If you want to give all your money away to someone, I don't care. That makes no difference to us as long as you've gone through the correct processes. And 1099 is, they don't have to be W-2. 1099 is totally okay. But the percentage that you pay them, Mike, we actually don't care. You want to give them 25 bips, 0.25%. You want to give them 75 bips. You want to give them 1%. That's okay.
The reason I bring it up is
And those are just gentleman agreements, guys. You're running businesses, like you're business owners. So you're not slinging, car insurance. You're not slinging, window detailing. Like you're business owners, and you need to run a business. I know the max. I personally would like if we're going to employ a salesperson, like I don't think you should give away the house, but I do think if there's a specific schedule, it would have to come from Goliath. I have no problem with that, but that would 100% be a Chris decision. And it might be something we need to like circle back to and have an offline conversation. And this is where it will have to go to an actual director. So if you have people, to Chris's point, like if someone is onboarded as a partner, they have to have an actual director over them. So no, they don't have partners unless they've gone through the entire process and have an MSA with Chris and Goliath. Like that's the only way.
Matt, I also think as we update our website, we're gonna have our directors listed.
Yes.
With a picture, with
Yes.
their contact information. So when people look at our website, it's gonna be like, okay, this is credible.
These are the people that I'm going to.
Here, I know Mike's here, I know Stan and Dave, and so on. They're gonna see.
And I think to Mike's point, like part of this is just internal, ethics with each other. Like, hey, if someone's trying to get a deal, but I think I hear what you're saying, Mike. This is more like partners that are in the fund referring other people and getting percentages. Yeah. That is an MLM. Exactly. So what I would say to that is, if you want to work for my company as a salesperson, you can do that. But there's an official way you have to do that. Like, correct. You have to be background checked. Correct. You have to go through all these processes, and now you work for Mike Hernandez Enterprises, and now you're an employee.
Sweet, if that's where it's happening. Hey, who are you a director? Who's your director?
Correct. Find out, because you have to have someone. Absolutely. That is ultimately to Chris, but you can 100% say you're not a director. You can just, it's real simple. When did you sign your MSA agreement with Goliath?
Yeah, as soon as this rolls out, everything stops. Like
all the side conversations change.
It's just you can't.
And I think that's it. Thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it. Thank you.